a sinner who had lived an affluent life before becoming our company's asset. As such, he has a certain admiration for a free life, but occasionally he may make ignorant, unsavory questions in regards to the food cooked by a certain other sinner, or other aspects of the low lives, lowly culture. This can cause much irritation for the other sinners. However, it is important to note that no sarcastic undertones are contained in his curiosity-driven inquiries, so it is ill-advised to let them get physical over it. I forgot how much I love low lives, lowly culture.
The low lives, lowly
The low
culture.
lives, lowly culture. Really funny.
It's the
TBH.
lowly culture of the low lives.
Oh my god. It is a really it's one of my favorite of these write-ups. It's it just has a lot of, it's just a good one, I think. It has a lot of like really specific details. Like specifically calling out Roja. Ill-advised to let them get physical over it instead of just like have conflict arise is really nice and specific.
Mm-hmm.
Me when I read a piece of translated writing and I'm like, thumbs up.
I think when she reads.
I when she reads, famously I'd never do this.
No,
I would never read a book.
No.
I would never read a Chinese novel.
I've just never read a Chinese novel, which
Great-
is crazy. I'd feel
great
like
or
you
small.
should, but
Yeah.
great or lesser.
Yeah, lesser Chinese novel.
Hi, I'm a localization editor of lesser Chinese novels.
Bro, can you imagine if someone hired me to like to run a localization of Dream of the Red Chamber? I would die.
Oh my god.
I would freak out. I would probably not take the job. I don't think I'm good enough to do that. It's kind of a big mantle.
I was just talking to Emma earlier about how the Yang and Yang translation is like not in print anymore.
Oh fuck.
And about like a guy who's like did reviews of both the Yang and Yang and fucking
Minford and Hawks.
yes, Minford and Hawks translation, Hawks and Minford. I wanted to say like Hawkford and Mins, and I was like, what is wrong with that? And was like, both of these suck ass for different reasons. And the reason why he said this is because, like, you know, my translation coming out soon will be the ultimate translation of Dream of the Red Chamber into English. It's
He's like that fucking guy who did the Don Quixote translation. Like
everyone else
clear,
sucks ass.
The good Don Quixote translation, but the whole translator's introduction is just like 20 pages of being like, this is why this translation is shit. This is why this translation is shit. This is why this translation is shit.
Mm-hmm.
Have we found that guy for Hong Lu Meng?
I think we found that guy for Hong Lu Meng.
Oh fuck! It's kind of honestly like I think it's sort of noble to be that guy in sort of like the late 1800s. I think it's kind of cringe to be that guy in 2025.
It's cringe to be that guy in 2025. Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
Like, listen, the definitive translation has been determined.
Brother, it's Hong Lu Meng. You gotta have a little bit of respect for your elders. Come on.
Yeah, like you can't be like, I'm gonna make the ultimate. I'm gonna write the great American novel. Like, brother, it's
Chill
over.
out. Just write like the American novel.
Mm-hmm.
It's
The
okay.
lesser American
It's
novel.
okay to write the lesser American novel, okay?
Nothing wrong with it. I
We've
read
started
plenty.
doing the podcast before the intro. We
Yeah. A classic.
we stopped doing the pre-intro bit and just started to do the podcast. So maybe we should do the
Mm-hmm.
intro. Do you have thoughts on this?
Hello and welcome to Soulmates.
Where we talk about all our favorite little guys in all our favorite little games. I'm Ivy Fox. You can't find me anywhere right now, but you can find this podcast on your podcast app of choice or on YouTube, which should be no one's podcast app of choice. Just listen to it. Well, listen to podcasts while going for a run. But
True.
if you're finding us wherever you're finding us, please give us a 5-star review or a thumbs up or leave a comment or whatever you can do to signal to the algorithm that, like, even though we talk about beep like too much sometimes, we're still worth showing to other people. And of course, please just show us to your friends. I've realized recently the power of word of mouth, especially as everyone mistrusts all of the media given to them. So if you like our podcast, support us on platforms, but also just suggest us to our friends and also follow us, etc., etc. Joining me as always from across the aisle of the bus, it's Ash.
Hi, it's Ash. You can find me looking out upon the water of the Lotus Pavilion, solemnly, and sort of sighing and being attended by handmaidens for my, my eternal convalescence. But if you're not currently in the Garden of Da Guan Yuan, then you can also find me on Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/Asherlark. You can support the show at ko-fi.com/IvyFoxArt, all one word. We do this for fun and we don't get anything from it, so if you want to cover our hosting costs for a month or two, that would be great.
Hosting costs are going up, and Libsyn is increasing our hosting costs by like 25% in the new year.
Please help.
So, please help.
And I also run the show's social media on soul-mates-podcast.tumblr.com. Back to you.
Our cover art is by Rygarden, who you can find on Instagram, and our theme is by Sueños Electrónicos, who you can find on Bandcamp. All the links are in the description. In this season of the show, we're talking about the characters from Limbus Company from Project Moon. A blend of cute, appealing sinners with real-time RPG brawls. Something like that.
True.
And that's the intro, right? Did I do all of it?
And that's the intro. And we did it.
I feel like we were sort of bad at the intro
Lu.
for a while, and then now I'm better, and so I doubt myself less. But anyway, it's Hong Lu time.
This time we're focusing on Hong Lu from Kanto 8, The Surrendered Witnessing. Senior number 6 of Limbus Company's LCB department.
Everyone's favorite Kanto name. The Surrendered Witnessing. Yeah.
They're going back to the normal ones.
Yeah. What's the new one again? Is it literally just called
the Unsever?
I thought it was just
the
called
Unsevering.
Oh. It's a joke about the spider's thread, right? Of course.
Yeah.
It's also a joke
Most
about...
things are.
Anyway. So if you missed last episode, our bonus episode, our Dream of the Red Chamber book club retrospective, we are fucking...
From April.
Well, it released last week, but we recorded it in April for logistical reasons. We are fucking crazy here about Dream of the Red Chamber. We embarked upon an 8-month, odyssey, different book, but, to read all 120 chapters of Dream of the Red Chamber, Minford and Hawke's translation. I really do want to read Yang and Yang. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. And
I've heard it has Marxist overtones that some people don't like.
Fascinating. Good for it.
It was written during the Chinese Cultural Revolution, so you gotta, Yeah. There's stuff going on with it.
But it's written by Chinese British literature scholars, It
Yeah.
sounds fascinating.
Momentarily
Um.
imprisoned. These are my facts. Carry on.
Anyway. Um. What was I talking about? Dream of the Red Chamber. It's a good book. It is long, but it's really good. And I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
And so, like, we were super, super weird about Kanto 8. There was so much, like, where the fuck is Wang Shifeng? Where's Wang
Where's Shifeng?
Shifeng? Where's Wang Shifeng?
Where's Shi
What do you
Xiangyun?
mean there's no Ton Chun? Um,
Is this guy a guy from the book? No. Is this
no.
guy?
Is
No.
this guy a guy from the book? What do you mean this is a guy from Confucius scholarly thought?
What do you mean this is a guy from real
Give
life?
me fucking...
What do you mean this is a tie-in with Water Margin? Actually, it's okay that it's a tie-in with Water Margin.
Yeah,
I do
that's
have to
kind
read
of
Water
sick.
Margin.
Yeah. Why don't you read a more accessible great Chinese novel?
Did I tell you that Zilu is also from Water Margin?
Yeah, you did.
It's fucked up.
That being said, I do think that sort of like over the course of time, I've come to be like, I think Kanto 8 had some shit figured out about Dream of the Red Chamber. It's so good at hitting the parts of Dream of the Red Chamber that are just kind of like introducing you to a long list of guys who don't matter, just to be like, look at how all of the majority of the guys here are like kind of unhappy. What's up with that?
What's up with that? Well, I was just explaining this to a friend of mine today, and I was like, this is great practice for the podcast. I was just explaining my feelings about Kanto 8 as an adaptation of Dream of the Red Chamber, which I'm still sort of working out in my head, even though it's been a couple months. It takes a while for these things to settle. But like the one of the primary things about Kanto 8, spoilers for Kanto 8, one of the primary things about Kanto 8 that like affected me deeply is like Dream of the Red Chamber is not about child abuse. Some people will tell you that it is. I'm here to tell you that it, like, really isn't. Like, that's really not.
I can't believe that we're bringing this up, Ash. I can't believe we're bringing up...
This is important to
Hong
me.
Lu's primary abuser.
I really...
Tumblr post.
There's some people on Tumblr who are here to interpret Dream of the Red Chamber, and I don't mean to call people out for this, because, like, this is... You're just sort of modernizing your reading of it, which is fine. It's just like, Dream of the Red Chamber is not about Bao Yu's tumultuous relationship with his father and the physical abuse scene. Scenes. It's about, like, the way in which sort of the crushing expectations, which we societally impose on one another distance us from each other emotionally until we are reduced to less than people. And, like, that being said, Dream of the Red Chamber, not about child abuse. That being said, Kanto 8, I think, is very easy to read as being extremely about child abuse. In, like, there's a crushing scene in Kanto 8 in which Bao Yu goes up to Shiren and is like, something bad is happening to me, and I don't know how to like word it or explain it, but I would like it to stop. And then the result of this is that Shiren like dies and has to be revived by the life insurance, becomes a shell of her former self, and nothing changes. And this is a genuinely like gutting emotional scene about a child realizing that none of their actions which they can take to speak to a trusted adult about the abuse that they are experiencing are going to change their circumstances. It made me feel a lot of things. And like, it's the child torture Kanto. Children are tortured on screen, and by children I mean Bao Yu.
Well,
among others.
A couple other children get in on the action.
A couple other children also get in on the action. But, like, the reason why this is, and I don't mean to diminish the fact that this is a depiction of child abuse, but the reason why this is is because Bao Yu, in both the book Dream of the Red Chamber and this adaptation of Dream of the Red Chamber, is treated so fundamentally as an object and not a person that he is, like, systematically distanced from his emotions about other people and the world and ultimately his own existence until he becomes a hollow shell of himself, crushed by the expectations placed upon him by forces beyond his control. This is what happens in Dream of the Red Chamber, and this is what happens when this kid who's like at most 11 sort of starts systematically dissociating for the rest of his adult life. God, that fucking song.
I put it as the break in the bonus episode.
Oh my
because
God.
I didn't know what else to do. Couldn't think of anything better.
Oh my God. It's like all of the scenes in which Bao Yu is harmed on screen, and also the sort of consequences of that harm are depicted on screen, like, really get to me. It's really hard to watch, like, the degree to which a child is harmed in Kanto 8. And, like, I really approve of why they're doing this in order to convey the themes of Dream of the Red Chamber. It's like... the other thing about it is that it's an excellent abuse metaphor and an excellent Dream of the Red Chamber adaptation to see the way in which Bao Yu is blamed for his response to this repeatedly when he's a very sad child, pre-dissociating for the rest of his adult life. Everyone is like, the fuck is up with this
What's
kid?
your fucking problem?
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
What is his fucking problem? Like, can he not be grateful for being the most, precious jade of Dagwan Yuan?
Yeah, I was reading a bunch of the child dialogue while writing the first half of my tie-in fanfic for this episode. And it's like, even the people who aren't like fucking Shui Pan,
Shui Pan,
a fake sympathetic figure,
we'll get to it.
Like even Dai Yu, is like, hey, big brother Bao, what the fuck is your problem? Like, like, first of all, you can tell me about it. Oh, you don't have anything to tell me? Okay, so, like, what's your problem? Come on, asshole. I know something traumatic has happened to you, but I also have so little power that literally all I can do is get mad at you. And this is
Dream of the Red Chamber.
Which is Dream of the Red Chamber, yeah. And, like, specifically the relationship between those two, between Bao Yu and Dai Yu, is kind of like, I feel like this is sort of like, at least in our little circle of people who have played that shit and also read Dream of the Red Chamber, the Dai Yu Bao Yu dynamic is like really the thing that they hit. In that, like, both of them have no power, both of them feel like they have no power, and also, like, kind of through basic empathy, both of them understand that the other one also feels the same way that they do, right? And yet both of them, even Hong Lu, in his most kind of like dream-walking state, can't help but project a certain amount of like, what's your fucking problem on the other one? Like, why don't you just get over it, you loser? You know. And this is fascinating. I think and I think that, like, you know, I don't think that Kanto 8 is about child abuse.
It's not.
Nor do I think that Dream of the Red Chamber is about child abuse. Nor do
It's
I really
not.
think that Kanto 8 is more about child abuse than Dream of the Red Chamber is. I feel like almost this is the Dream of the Red Chamber. This is the part of Dream of the Red Chamber that like it hits, even as none of the fucking guys are there. Um,
Mhm.
um, where the fuck is Xian Yun? I love her. Uh,
God, I love her.
um, this is
What the
the
fuck is
part
Skybright?
which is like, um, what it's about, is like a system where what it's about is a system where like basically everyone has lost control of the system, including the people in
Mm-hmm.
control.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone is obligated to perpetuate this fucking thing. um which this thing that they like sort of think is Confucianism but isn't.
Mm-hmm.
um I think it's so funny how like
God.
pro kind of like pure Confucian values Limbus Company is here. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, Limbus Company is so obviously like anti the results, the sort of long term result of sort of like imperial Confucian culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's arguably sort of about.
Mm-hmm.
um but like the like sheer sympathy with which it the sheer sympathy and like kind of depth, not that I'm like an expert on the Analects or anything, with which it portrays like kind of like benevolent Confucianism, which it also
Mm-hmm.
portrays as sort of more pure Confucianism, is like is fascinating. uh,
Fucking support benevolence, promote virtue.
and so both of these things are about how like, you know, this like imperial system has like spiraled out of control to everyone, for everyone including those in control, and then like what is the what happens from there, like what
Mm-hmm.
happens to everyone from like from the people in control like Jiamu, who is like, you know, obviously she's an evil lady, but also
Mm-hmm.
she's like fucked. Like
Yeah.
there's no path for her available except to
Mm-hmm.
become the final boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of really interesting stuff in sort of her aborted like final boss dialogue and also attack names in her final boss form and so on and so forth. That like, you know, gets to a really interesting, they do a really fascinating like gender reading with her where they're like she's a woman in a position of great power. She started out as just a little girl. Um and like, you know, you there's an undertone that's like you have to respect her as sort of a girl boss.
Uh-huh.
And that's part of it.
I mean, part of
And
it
like,
is
you know,
that
she
like
she she
she
came from the she family and now she's the hierarch and she's like, you know, ancestors, please love me.
part of it
There's
is
just
that like there's she's sorry not to interrupt you.
yeah.
um she's like, part of the point is that like the only difference between her and little baby marshmallow Shichun is
Yeah.
like this one inflection point.
Yeah.
That inflection point, of course, being the Anumna worm.
Be a nom the worm, yeah. It's, you know, I don't know. It's like I think that ultimately, as much as a lot of the minute details of Dream of the Red Chamber are lost here, um, I think that it's a very good like it's a good adaptation.
It's a really
Um,
interesting adaptation if nothing else.
True.
Also, earlier you
I
said, oh no, sorry. I'll make my stupid joke
no
after you
carry on.
finish. Oh, earlier you just said Gia Mu aborted. And but then we talked for too long before I could make the joke, and I was like, damn,
Uh
well
huh.
never mind.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
I
Anyway, finish your little thesis.
Oh, I do want to talk about sort of the other characters in the Kanto really quick. Um hey, this one's for all the Shui Pan posters out there. Stop.
Shui Pan.
I need you to stop posting Shui Pangst. It's really harming me psychically. You understand
Uh-huh.
that Shui Pan sucks. He sucks ass. Like, I understand that he dies like 5 times and they're like, oh, put him back together and this time he'll have filial piety. And like that's fun and cool and all. And like it's great fuel for your sort of Shui Bao Chai, Shui Pan sort of like angst. And it's like, but really I was a peaceful boy. And it's like, no, he wasn't. I mean, I'm reading shit in from the book into his depiction in the game. Maybe game Shui Pan deserves your Shui Pangst, but I think that you are not. It is not me which is wrong. It is the world.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, like
it
the
makes me feel crazy.
the point of Shui Pan in the book is like, is he being crushed by the system? Yeah, but I feel like he exists as sort of like, you know, um I mean, the extent to which like Dream of the Red Chamber is actually like sort of critical of the Chinese Empire is complicated.
It's
Um
very complicated.
like even not talking about like, altered ending conspiracy theories or whatever. Um
Hmm.
but like Shui Pan in the book like is sort of like a victim of the system in the way that everyone else is. But I feel like he's also sort of an example of like, you know, well maybe we need to keep some motherfuckers under control. Otherwise we get
Yeah,
fucking Shui Pan. And I'm not
yeah,
saying
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
he is in the game. I'm just like, that he's like a comic relief, like sort of evil boy
Yeah,
who wants to like kill you with a jar, right? And then eat your
yeah.
eyes. Like
Like he
you
sucks
he
ass.
sucks ass.
Your
Um
machine sucks ass. Is this okay? I've been thinking about Deltarune lately. Anyway, I also want to talk about Shichun because it's
She chewed.
marshmallow.
Uh-huh.
Um, Everyone loves Shichun. Shichun and her worm, marshmallow Shichun. Everyone loves Shichun. Princess raising Shichun, cultivating my Shichun. Everyone loves Shichun.
I love to
Um,
cultivate my Shichun.
I loved. I've
She
spent
gets so
all night
strong. I spent
cultivating my
all night
Shichun,
cultivating my Shichun.
and she became so powerful.
She became so
Everyone
powerful.
Everyone loves Shichun. I do want to talk briefly, since again we can't touch on this in the bonus episode because we recorded it before Kanto 8 came out, on like why they put Shichun in the game.
Uh-huh.
As like the main real guy from Dream of the Red Chamber who isn't one of the main guys from Dream of the Red Chamber.
Yeah, I've my
Um
own thesis on this, but I'm curious how ours line up.
Well, like, to me, the reason why this is because Shi Chun at the end of Dream of the Red Chamber is like, I'm going to become a nun.
Uh-huh.
um, and she cuts off all her hair
She
and is a
literally
disappointment to the
says,
family.
I'm gonna kill myself or become a nun.
She literally says, I'm going to kill myself or become a nun. And then she becomes a nun. And at the end of Dream of the Red Chamber, Bao Yu decides to go become a monk. Um, and so, like, this has a sort of this is a certain before Kanto 8 came out, my theory on this was like Shi Chun and Bao Yu meeting in the outside world in Kanto 7 is sort of like, we start in the heavenly realm and descend to the earthly realm type of shit. Um I just think that like the important thing about Shi Chun in general is that in the book, she and Bao Yu end up in kind of the same place. And so in the story, she can be aligned with what Bao Yu has going on in Limbus Company. Um,
Yeah.
but I
And
do think that they do her in a really fun and interesting way because they acknowledge so explicitly that she plays second to third to fourth fiddle to all of the other drama happening in the middle of Kanto 8 and then sort of randomly gets her beautiful resolution. It's like, didn't she just get sort of installed into power by Bao Yu and Jia Chu? And it's like, well, kind of.
but I'm here
Um,
now.
Here now. I like that they acknowledge this, because, like, again, it's sort of an interesting, self-awareness about gender that Project Moon has in Kanto 8 that is unusual to me. But she does, like, she's not her own person fully. I have no illusions of this. She's sort of a corporate plant. But like, you know, I don't know. I think it's a good and fun and interesting move to get Shichun to play this role. And I appreciate that she evolves over the course of from Kanto 7 to Kanto 8. She evolves from like, what similarity does this girl have to the one who was painting the garden in Dream of the Red Chamber, to like, oh my god, she's a marshmallow.
Did they make one joke about her painting? I don't remember. They make like one joke about it, right?
Uh-huh.
In the book, Shichun's basically she has a whole personality. I like Shichun in the book, but her whole deal devolves into like, she's like, I'm gonna paint the whole garden.
Yeah.
The garden is massive, by the way, and then she spends like a year on this and doesn't complete it, and then like the book ends and she becomes a nun. My theory as to like, I agree with you. My theory to some extent, but it's a little bit more. My theory is that like, I think of all of the, like, you gotta have some girls in there. I think for the Shichun role, it's got to be one of the 12 beauties. It can't be either of the two romantic leads, Dayu and Bao Chai. And it like, I think Shichun has to fill that slot, because ultimately, like, to some extent, Shichun in the book does end up being sort of like still controlled by her family, because they're very specifically like, fine, she can go to a temple, but she's gonna go to the temple that's like literally in our backyard.
She's gonna go to the temple that makes / absorbs our money.
Yeah, the Temple of the Iron Threshold, which is in Limbus Company. She does go there, I suppose.
She goes there.
But like,
she literally ascends to the Temple of the Iron Threshold.
Yeah, hang on, I've never actually put that together. But like, she ultimately, compared to all of the other girls who, like, I've been doing a lot of reading the the awful Dream of the Red Chamber fandom wiki page for the 12 Beauties of Jinling. She does, like, compared to literally everyone else, compared to all of the other girls who mostly go and, like, marry guys who suck or guys who die.
Or they die.
Or they die. She wins, right? Like, she kind of wins against the system.
Is a first register beauty.
Shichun breaks the system. People are like, you gotta do this shit. You gotta do your filial piety. And she's just like, no.
Yeah.
And then everyone
I'm gonna shave my head and become a nun.
I'm gonna shave my head and become a nun, and all of you have to deal with that. Or I'll kill myself. Not even, I think, I because I want to kill myself. Just because, like, I'm mad.
Yeah.
And, like... And so I feel like she fills that role quite naturally, actually.
She does, yeah.
It is kind of like, you know, it is kind of like a sellout turn to go from, like, becoming a nun to, like, you know, becoming a bureaucrat. But, like, there's a reason why it's Shichun.
She is a nun. She shaves her head, which is to say, doesn't get the Anam the Worm.
Also, she's June.
Also, she's a marshmallow.
Also, she's
I'm
spring.
Infected. She is.
She's
I'm infected by the Shichun obsession. I love her so much.
Yeah,
she's my little marshmallow.
I spent all night training my princess.
I spent all night cultivating my Shichun.
I spent all night cultivating my princess, and now she's too strong.
She's too strong. Sinclair doesn't get to do his special move.
Sinclair doesn't get to do his special move. I don't even have to do anything against the final boss. My princess is too cultivated.
Mm-hmm.
Help, help.
Help, help, help. I'm also going to decline to comment here on marriage, both because we've been talking about Dream of the Red Chamber for a hot second, and because that plotline isn't done. So
Yeah, who knows what's up with marriage? Are you
I
gonna
have
talk about
feelings
my
about marriage, which have gotten better over time.
uh
My original feelings about Bao Chai were not positive, but I sort of understand what they're doing more now. But I reserve judgment until we're done with Bao Chai.
yeah. Are you gonna talk about my thing briefly?
Oh yeah. There's a tie-in fic for this episode.
It's in the
Ivy wrote
episode
it.
description.
It's in the episode description. Ivy wrote it, and it's about the poetry club from Dream of the Red Chamber, which is very important. It's all of the girls and also Bao Yu get together and they do a and they do a poetry club. And Bao Yu is really bad at poetry, so he's always getting penalties. Um, and they compose on various themes. This one is like, what if they did that, but it was in Limbus Company, and it's really good. Ivy wrote poetry for it, so you have to read it.
I did. My poetry is like, it's so difficult to like. The thing for me, one, I just like wanted to get some Dream of the Red Chamber stuff in here, but I also like I wanted to explore that like, you know, baby bow you, baby die you sort of like conflict a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more. I think they're really interesting. I think like you talked a lot as we were sort of like playing through the Kanto about how they're as kids their personalities are sort of switched in the book, so there's a bunch of like
Mm-hmm.
little nods to that. um
Bao Yu is Frowner.
uh-huh. He's Smiler. Um
The Sniler.
but I also like, I don't know, I'm just like really sort of particularly proud of this fanfic. I think this is really weird and nobody cares about this except me, which is fair. But like
Mm-hmm.
um for the last like, you know, almost year and a half, I've been working I've been working as an editor on translated Chinese novels. And I just like I'm extremely proud about little details that I put into this fic that make it sound like a translated Chinese novel, including like common words that are used in translation, or stuff like Lian Hu Hua Lian Hua Ting, which is Lotus Pavilion, lived up to its name of Lotus Pavilion, which is a trick that translators do, to like use the original pinyin name of something while also like trying to organically tell you what it translates to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm just kind of I feel very confident about this one, but I don't really know why. Anyway, there might be a part two to it, hopefully.
Hopefully.
And if there is, it'll come out with part B of the podcast.
I'm just looking at sprites of baby Bao Yu because I want to pinch his cheeks.
Uh-huh. Should we start talking about art? We have been
We should
talking
start
for a
talking about
while.
art. We want to talk about his main CG.
Yeah, I love this one. I think that this
The
one is so
gates.
nice. The gates.
The gates.
Woo! Um
I mean,
let's
this is the iron threshold, right? In hindsight.
um maybe I actually don't know what it says on the sign in the background.
Hard to
Um
say.
I like, to me always, and I mean this kind of is, they, these things are melded together. To me always
Mm-hmm.
this gate represented like the gate to the land of illusion down from the realm of the immortals. But I guess the realm of
Mm-hmm.
the immortals in Limbus Company like literally is where all the elders live. And so it sort of mashes those concepts up together. I guess we're talking about the background first, which is fine. I think that this background is super striking. One thing I really like about this one in particular that I feel like we've been sort of losing in a lot of the previous ones, is that like a lot of the backgrounds that they put for these are very just kind of, you know, abstract lines of paint that form like the kind of mashed together silhouette of several slot machines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The background of this one actually has varying levels of level of detail. Um, like it the actual structure of the gates are like pretty full detail.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to these just sort of smearing brushstrokes of the sort of portal
Yeah, like
openings.
these roofs are very detailed.
Yeah, look at how sort of like properly illustrated like the sidewalk that he's on
Mm-hmm.
is. Um and I think this like gives it one. This makes it stand out among the others, as well as sort of like the false symmetry is really nice on this one. This makes it stand out among the others, but it also just like amplifies the effect. It amplifies the effect of like we are in the real world, but beyond it is something strange and magical and spiritual. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's really good, and I think the colors are nice, and I think it's very striking.
It is. It's so pretty.
It's
He's so
really pretty.
pretty.
Yeah, he's
He's
very
got little
pretty.
flowers and water and
Uh huh.
fog and
Yeah,
gates.
the
Basically
land
all
of
the things from Dream of the Red Chamber.
yeah, the land of the immortals is crying. Its tears are coming
Oh,
out from the door.
oh, my precious Jade.
And I really like Hong Lu. Like he's so design wise, he's like so boring. Like he really does just have like the long coat that is so long. He has like the longest long coat. That gives him this kind of like flared imperial Chinese silhouette. Um, he's got the long hair. He's sort of prim and proper. He's doing his sort of like vacant little smile. And like that's kind of it. And that's like perfect because he's
Mm-hmm.
chilling. Like he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. He doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't give a
Um,
fuck.
Shoutouts once again to the metal name tag, which indicates that that's not his real name.
Uh huh.
Um, Shoutouts to all of the like beautiful rhythmic parts of his design, like his ponytail
And the
and the loops of
ribbons.
hair that
Yeah.
are the same as this red ribbon. Um, I also love the symmetry of his guandao, which is a very very pretty weapon.
Uh huh.
Um, the diamond shaped metal on both the handle at the top and the bottom. Um,
Yeah.
Also, I've never noticed these little like teeth on the adverse side of the guandao before.
Yeah, it's actually a really intricately crafted weapon compared to a lot of other ones. It's got
Yeah.
like it really does look like a sort of like classical kind of um pole arm.
Yeah.
In that it like has multiple parts that are for different, you know, it's got a point for thrusting, it's got a blade for slicing, it's got like a serrated part for like sawing through stuff, and it's
For
got a
ripping.
hook. Yeah, it's got a hook for catching like weapons. It's really like thought it kind of looks ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Um because it's like all of these things that are like in sort of classical weaponry but like turned up to 11. But it is actually a really thoughtfully put together weapon, and I really appreciate it. It even like it's the handle is wrapped like specifically in the spots where he would hold it. It's really thoughtfully done. It's really nicely rendered for like, especially for an early piece of Limbus Company
Yeah,
art.
I know. I think just in general, this like the way in which he's posed, where he's like, polite yet vicious and everything is sort of perfectly in place, um, is it just sort of underscores the fact that he's a perfect little object.
Yeah.
Um, which is fucked up because only I can be a perfect little object, but whatever. Uh,
Uh-huh.
um, and that's perfect. I like his little tiny eyelashes.
Uh-huh.
Fucking beep.
Uh-huh. He does have like he's like distinctly feminine too.
Yeah.
Like he shares a haircut with Roja. Um
Mm-hmm.
I
His
love
his coat comes in at the waist.
I love I love the way in the game that like he's theoretically in conflict with Roja,
Mm-hmm.
because of their massive class divide. But in practice, him and Roja find a lot of common ground in being like, ooh, makeup.
Yeah. They're like, I love materialism. But
Uh-huh.
Roger is like, God, I wish I had materialism. And Hong Lu is like, how fun, you don't have materialism.
Anyway, I feel like there's not that much to say about his base design. It's just like it's really like simple and evocative. And I feel like the
Yeah,
background
it's
is a
excellent.
very simple, straightforward concept that is done very well. Even to the extent that, like, you know, the top of the sort of like portal has this sort of like sunset pink, and the bottom is this sort of like ocean um greens and blues, and so you can almost see like the shape of a landscape, you know, you can almost
Mm-hmm.
see like the mountain over the sea, but like really heavily abstracted, but it's there. And it's
But
just
it's
like
there.
it's really straightforward, it's really nicely done. In its trivia, does it tell you what it says on the damn thing?
No, it doesn't. I looked everywhere.
They hate me.
Yeah.
Great, let's talk about a piece of ID
Let,
art.
let's talk
Where's
about Kurakumo clan Wakashu Hong Lu. I can
Kurakuma
follow your
Clan
commands no
Wakashu
problem.
Honglu?
Obedience might be a tall order, though. He's one of those classic early game IDs who just flirts with you constantly.
Uh
Does anyone know about this?
huh.
Oh, hey. I didn't. I like this piece of trivia that they renamed his combat passive to be in Mandarin. Really funny. Um. Anyway, it's Kurakumo clan Wakashu Hong Lu. Do you think they had all of the guys they were ever going to release in the Kurokuma clan figured out from the beginning of the game? Because this image has Roja and Ryoshu in it, who are like
I think
beginning of the
so.
game releases, but
Tip
Heathcliff is also there.
I feel like typically when they do like the Kurakuma clan um thing, the Kurokuma the Kurokumo clan and Blade lineage thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um when they have like a bigger universe that they have in mind with like multiple factions, I feel like when they concept that, or like T Corp Eurodivi is a good example. Those
Mm-hmm.
guys are all supposed to be in the same world. I do think they literally sit down and are like, who's on which side,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and draw some initial designs for them. That makes a lot of
I
sense to
can't
me.
figure out if the sort of vague head of brown hair on the far left is supposed to be Gregor, but who's to say?
It's hard to tell. You can't see his arm.
Yeah,
Um,
that damn arm.
that damn arm. Anyway,
Not that his arm in the Kurokumo is that interesting anyway. Anyway,
I actually really like this piece of art. I think it's like
yeah.
it's very evocative. It's like I don't know like what this just bright glare of light is on the right.
Mm-hmm.
But like it theoretically gives this sort of sense of sort of stepping out of the light and into the darkness.
Into the
Um
black cloud, if you
and yeah,
will.
into the black cloud. But it
Some
like
kind of Kuro Kumo.
it doesn't necessarily feel like the light necessarily represents like benevolence.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's actually happening in
Virtue.
the image is that he's stepping out of the light, and he's sort of stepping towards all of his friends, all of his
Yeah.
buddies.
Oh my
Um
guys.
all my guys. And so it's like by leaving whatever this bright light is supposed to represent behind, you know, I get to go like, you know, be part of culture and community. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of
Yeah.
compelling in that way. Like I feel so much that like, you know, guy is like one half is in blue light and one half is in red light, and it's like, ooh, the blue light part is good but the red light part is evil. And I feel like that's sort of complicated here, in an interesting way.
Yeah. I mean, the thing to remember when you're looking at all these Honglu images is that, frankly, they fucking love drawing Honglu.
They
Like,
do.
there are some guys in this video game that, like, maybe they struggle more to put in situations, but they love drawing Hong Lu. And it shows here in like even in the sort of less refined rendering that they have at the beginning of the game, all of these individual strands and hanks of his hair are just these wide sweeping single brush strokes that like become that fade out into the light and then sort of become more clear in the darkness. And it's like, yeah, it looks good. You know, it looks a little messy or, you know, whatever. There's more visual weight on the like right side foreground of the image than the left side of the image. But like, you know, they're drawing this long flowing thing that's just really fun to draw.
Yeah, they like really care about his hair looking good.
Yeah.
And it really shows. Like this is just like a really someone cared so much about this image for
They
some
were like, we
reason.
have to make the pretty boy look perfect. They don't care about Roja's hair looking this good, which is important because I have to imagine that her hair is tangled as fuck.
Uh-huh. But even
His
like,
hair
you
is
know,
silky.
yeah. Yeah, and I also like I love the contrast in this image.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're less and less like I feel like one, they did kind of suck at contrast sometimes early. Like a lot of the Zwei up ties where we're just sort of like in a parking lot and everything is
Yeah.
blue. Um but I feel like they're like willing to be a little bit less bold with contrast than they are here, where it's like this image is so grayscale, and then it's just like bam, pop of jade, pop of red, like pop of like saffron,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's like you know it really works. It like really
Yeah, absolutely.
pops to the eye, and your eye kind of can sort of oh sorry I just sneezed. Oh no, no sneeze. Okay.
No sneeze. Get owned.
Your eye just kind of pops around all of these like um bits of color and it's nice.
Yeah,
And I feel like there's a
and
nice
the general backdrop of like I guess the T Corp backstreets. It's really unclear. Maybe S Corp. Who's to say? The general
eh,
backdrop that they put in these Kurakumo things of all of these high rises always works very well with their bright white, dark black sort of mid-tone blue thing that they like, where you can just do these little highlights of white on sort of darker windows with a general gray backdrop, and it harmonizes with the overall image great.
uh-huh. Yeah.
I never
Um
know where the fuck they are in these
yeah, I mean
images.
I feel like we haven't established like a clear um we haven't established like a clear like what is the Japan? What's the
What
Japan?
is Japan?
What is Japan? What's the Japan um corp
We're
or
yet to find
nest?
out.
We're not yet to find out because like fucking I don't know. I mean, we'll get to the next image. But I was going to say like this also like this image has composition. There's this really nice sort of compositional triangle of like his sword go up like through Roja's hair and then across Heathcliff's sword and then like back down Hong Lu. Um is this really nice like focus center of the image, and that's like your eye gets to follow that because of all these pops of color that draw you along, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
nice. It's just like a really nice image. IMO.
It's just nice.
Oh my god, we're gonna be here forever. Ugh.
Yep.
um
Moving on to the uptie. Um, hey, when do you think that they pivoted this game from like having guys that are attractive and flirt with you to like not that? Because it
uh-huh
feels like they ping pong back and forth sometimes. But at the
uh-huh
beginning of the game, they did release a bunch of IDs that are like, "Hey, it's
uh-huh
me, Kurakumo Clan Wakashu Hong Lu, and I'm gonna
uh-huh
take you out for a night on the town. I got 3 buttons unbuttoned on my shirt, so you can see sort of the unsettling slope of my pecs."
uh-huh They do kind of have like a designated list of sinners who are like the thirst trap sinners.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like here's my pitch is that it's Honglu, Ryoshu, Roja, Heathcliff.
Mm, not
I think
wrong.
like yeah, those like are the guys who are like gonna take you out for a drink in like most ID worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Um he is like, they do really like he's so fucking like oh my god. His what he's not a triangle, but he's like you get up to his ribs and then his ribs for some reason like jut out like a
Mm-hmm.
full several inches like outside of his waist, and then like up top he's just massive, and I'm like what's going
Well,
on
he's a
there?
twunk.
I guess he's a twunk. I really don't like that
Um,
his hand is veiny. I don't get the veiny thing. It's
I
not
know.
for me.
It's because of the sex appeal of veiny hand. Um,
It's very Chinese of them to make him very veiny and be like, isn't it hot that he's covered in veins?
he's covered in veins.
This is very down May of them. But like,
Here's my one real qualm with this image, which I do think looks very good. My
uh,
one real qualm with this image is that they very rarely do this, but this is just a picture of a guy that they independently drew and then put on a backdrop.
uh-huh. You think so?
He's so like, I am doing my pose and facing the camera, and now watch me
Uh-huh.
draw my sword. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
save that
Yeah.
for the sprite art.
I
Why are you
mean,
a talk sprite?
I like this background. This
Mm-hmm.
is why I'm like, I don't think he's supposed to be an S corp, because I mean, like, they have the interconnectivity of like politics and culture in East Asia is very complicated. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but like this like paper lantern to me is like so like he's in front of a Japanese noodle shop.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But where is Japan?
Probably W Corp. I feel like W Corp is supposed to be cyberpunk Japan. This has always been my impression. And we'll find out in Kanto 9 vis-a-vis
I
Ivy's
guess so.
W Corp Kanto 9 theory. Um, what was I saying? I like this background. I think this background is like really, really well done, actually. Um,
Yeah.
I actually kind of like. I do think that like something that I find weird about this pair of images is I feel like they're in the wrong order. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know that in this one he has the weapon and he's like ready to fight, except not really. Mostly he's just chilling. But like the second image is so much more of a sort of like a dramatic thing, and then this is so much more just like a picture of the guy that I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, why doesn't it go like picture of the guy in casual situation and then picture of the guy on his way to war? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like they're in a like I get it to some extent, but I feel like they're in a weird order.
Yeah, I mean they're like that because the first image is just less eye-catching.
Sure.
But you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, this image is like it's good. I kind of don't have that much to say about it. Like his outfit is not particularly interesting.
He's just
Um
hot. That's what they're doing
yeah,
in
he's
this image,
just
is they're
hot.
making him
You
hot.
know, he's just hot, and his rib cage protrudes.
He's conventionally attractive. I like that they keep the motes of light, that sort of the motes of dust lit that are drifting from top right to bottom left in the uptight one, and then they sort of have the like more lens flary motes of light heading into the background in this one. It's just a
Hmm.
nice little piece of carry through to me.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And this one is sort of like more warm, and the other one is more sort of like harsh and cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
In this
Anyway.
one, he's taking you out on a date.
Uh huh.
I can't emphasize this enough.
In this one, he's taking you. In the previous one, he's taking you to war.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Next up.
Great. What's next?
Ting Tang Gang Gang Leader Hong Lu. I love that it's called Ting Tang Gang Gang
Gang
Leader.
leader Hong Lu. Um, in this
Hey,
one, he's
I
not
love
drawn as
him.
good.
In this one, he's not drawn like nearly as good. I love him. I don't. I love it. I have a bias towards this guy because I got him very early
Uh-huh.
and I used him a lot.
Uh-huh.
But also just because I think he's so funny. Like,
Uh-huh.
why did they do this?
Uh-huh.
In his uptie one, he's at the. Is he at the? No, he's at the like poker table. I was like,
He's
is
at
he
the
at the
casino.
mahjong table?
No,
No,
he's playing poker. They
he's
didn't know
playing
about
poker.
they didn't know about mahjong.
They didn't
Well,
know
they
about
did,
mahjong, but
but
they
he's
did
not from
give
the
him
mahjong gang.
they did give him a gold chain, some
Uh-huh.
not some bracelets that are not jewelry. So I don't know what the deal is with that. And then like a bunch of ear piercings.
Uh-huh.
He's got a little hoop. He's got a stud. He's got a couple of little ear cuffs.
Uh-huh.
What's his
His
deal?
his Hawaiian shirt is so funny to me. It's like
I know.
it's so overdone. It's
He's on the
lotuses.
Lotus Pavilion.
I see. They made it kind of Chinese. He's got a lotus
Mm-hmm.
Hawaiian shirt. I see. That's kind of cute.
And
Um,
he's got his luck tattoos.
uh-huh. And like I don't I I'm
Yeah.
struggling to find things to say about this one. It's full of like weird little details, but I just like
Mm-hmm.
I think like as an overall image, as an overall composition, it is perfectly serviceable. It's like
Yeah.
totally acceptable.
He's at the
It's like
casino. A
it's
guy is
really clear
pounded
what's
on the table.
happened. Yeah, he's like cheated. He's won at cards. Maybe he's cheated. A guy's pounding at cards. Um, and it's just like it's really simple. It's really straightforward. It's effective. It's not like the most compelling thing in the world, but it's cute. And then it's full of all of these like weird little details. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why do they draw these background guys like that? Why did they draw
Oh.
them
Ah.
mouth only? It's like the one on the right kind of reads okay, but the one on the left looks like he has a keyhole in his face. Um,
We found it. This will be
Kingdom
important
Hearts?
later. This will be important in part
Um,
B.
uh-huh. And you know, I love these cards flying everywhere, kind of just
Mm-hmm.
like just kind of put whatever cards wherever
Yeah,
they need
Ace
to
of
be in the
Hearts, Three of
composition.
Clubs.
Yeah, if you
It's
find like an
fine.
area of the image that like doesn't have much going on there, just like throw a card there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
It's fine.
it's fine. It's totally
I think he's so
acceptable.
funny.
I think he's so funny.
In his uptie 3, he's doing. When did they fuck up knowing how to make like attack images that look like this? This is too negative on recent pieces of ID art. There's lots of good recent pieces of ID art, but this battle scene, in which they love to use their wife the smudge tool, is just like a bunch of sort of like slashes of blood all across the screen. There's some guys there, but mostly it all centers in on, again, sort of a talk sprite. But Hong Lu doing something cool and clearly in the image, in the center of it. The guys are secondary, they're in the background, they're not in the foreground, and the big attack things don't really get in the way of looking at Hong Lu. It's just some blood. It highlights him. It points towards him. Look, there he is.
Uh-huh.
That's where it's coming
There he
from.
is.
There's the
There he
blood.
is. Look at him. Look at him. I'm pointing so
I'm
hard.
looking.
Have
I'm
you
looking.
noticed? Have you noticed? He's blue. See if you can
He's
find it
blue.
in this image.
Can you see Hong Lu? I like this really fucked up card that they have that's like right to the right of his face. That's like a 4 of clubs, but it looks like shit.
Wait.
It's like a 5 of clubs, but they only did 1 on the bottom.
Why is it? What? Why
The
is it like
4.5 of clubs. They got some poker chips in there.
Uh-huh.
The cards and chips are covered in blood. Things are still
I
shiny and colorful and nightclubby, but his ponytail is sort of the same as these things of blood that are coming out sort of jagged and like that. It's
I feel
fun.
every time I look at this image, I feel like his ponytail turns into this guy's arm.
Ah,
Um,
that's
yeah,
his
it's fun.
grasping
It's
hand.
like it is sort of like it's a really nice sort of clear evolution of the last image. It's
Mm-hmm.
like we're doing basically all of the same things to the point where it's almost boring. Except now we're doing them more, and also now he's the dancing queen. I love his little over the shoulder smirk here is really good though,
Mm-hmm.
actually. Um
Got
I
too
I
heated
I
at the poker table. Time to
I
kill those
I
guys.
I think on itself the his sort of like whoopsie smile in the last one doesn't quite do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But like leading into this where it's like whoopsie wink is like
Mm-hmm.
is really good.
How did he
Um
become so whimsical?
uh-huh. It is like again, it's like I understand why we go from this to images that have like such like extreme sort of perspective and framing that they're basically non-functional.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think that this image is like kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so functional in showing you the guy and his knife. Um and like oh he does a slash and he throws some cards around. But it is like kind of boring. He's just kind of in the center of the screen and everything is pointing at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are
There he
also some
is.
hands. There he is. It's really funny how much he's just being pointed at.
There he is.
Um and so I get how we, from this get like more and more quote unquote interesting compositions to the point
Mm-hmm.
where that gets completely fucked up. Um, but like it is so nice to just be able to see him doing a thing, like being kind of normal. Um, I don't know. I really like the colors in this one actually, like more so than the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I really like these like shards of red on this sort of purple and blue background. I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty image.
He's cool. I think I have him on the Uptie 1 on my personal copy of him. I don't know why. I think
That's
I just am
reasonable.
like, he's too covered in blood in the second one.
Uh
And
huh.
generally, they just released, or no, not they just released. I was just talking about the Fell Bullet E song Identity, um, with friend of the show Loading. And my point about the Uptie 1 of that one is just when they do like, what if they were fucked up and evil about a guy, I'm generally like, whatever, man.
Uh huh.
Um and like this isn't that, but he still is like super covered in blood in the second one and like enjoying himself. And so it trends a little bit, what if he was fucked up and evil, in a way that makes me go to the first one.
Uh huh.
Um it's not bad though.
Yeah.
I like it quite a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. I think both of these images are like kind of boring, so I
They're
understand why we
perfectly
move away from
serviceable.
this style. But like, they are like really serviceable. Like,
I do want you to look at
I
his
understand
moving and
this
evade
guy.
sprites.
Uh huh.
Look at his evade sprite. He's so cute. He does a
Yeah, the
little
evade
wink
sprite is really
and
good.
he moves away. Also his hurt sprite where he's like, "Hey guys, hold on.
Hang on, one sec.
Hang on, one sec. Wait guys,
He's
give
got
me a
he's
second.
got the little
Hold on."
the little sweat drop.
Anyway, he's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
Should we take a break?
Um. Now, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I do like need to go eat more food.
Yeah. We'll be
Oh,
back
okay.
after a 5-minute break.
We'll be back. Oh.
나중에 집에 돌아가게 된다면 단테님을 초대해서 근사한 연애라도 열고 싶어요. 아버지께 새로 사귄 친구들도 소개시켜주고 재밌을 것 같아요.
Speaking of which, why didn't they make Baoyi's mom a MILF in Linda's company? Why did they do
Lady
that?
Wang?
Yeah. Do normal people not hold this opinion?
I mean, I don't think of her as a MILF, but
I just like
Mostly I think of her as
But,
like
but we talked about
she
this.
she's sad about Hong Lu's transition. She only has 3 facial expressions.
Uh-huh. I just like nope. Trying to find a picture of her. I don't know, man. I just feel like they made her very kind of like breathy. She's a very breathy woman. You know what I mean?
Sure.
YKWIM?
If you wish.
I just don't know why they did that to her.
Welcome back. It's time to talk about a new Hong Lu.
It's time to talk about a new Hong Liu. Hi, welcome back.
New Hong Lu just dropped.
New Hong Liu.
It's Liu Association South Section 5 Hong Lu, in which he drink a little tea.
Whoa, you drink a little tea. Tea.
It's time for the Hong Lu, which before Kanto 8 was the most evidence we had as to what Hong Lu's deal was.
Uh-huh. I'm very fond of this guy.
He drinks his tea. He likes his tea.
He drinks his damn tea.
All of the Liu guys and their obsession with food is the most important thing in this video game.
I feel like I think it's interesting. I'm looking at the list of Hong Lus that is in our Discord conversation.
Hong's Lu, if you will.
Hong's Lu. In release order. And I feel like I'm like, at what point do they start making him a woman? Because I feel like in Ting Tang Gang and in the first one, Kurokuma, he's definitely like, he's very much like a man. But I feel like at some kind of like ephemeral point, they start drawing him like a woman in sort of like an ephemeral and like ungraspable way. And I'm
it's not this one. In
it's
this
not
one, he's
this
still drawn
one.
like a man.
I think it might be the next one, but nonetheless, I digress.
Very possibly, it's either that or W Corp is, I think,
I do feel like
sort of inflection point.
I do feel like this one is the first one where he's sort of allowed to be like a little bit of a softie, which is nice.
But they do. We won't get to this until the B side, but they do draw him as a man in Reindeer.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway,
yeah.
I really love I love his perfect posing. I love his perfect tea drinking sort of etiquette. With the like, you know, grasping the cup with one hand and supporting it with the thumb. Very cute. I just think that this like image is really nice. It has a really good sense of space. It's just like a nice image of 3 guys hanging out. He's like hanging. He's explaining shit to Faust, and Yi-song is like, whatever.
Yes, my tea.
I just think he gets to be a cutie in this one, and that's nice. That's nice to me.
When the only 3 Liu identities were Gregor, Merceau, and Hong Lu, it was common parlance to call them the Blowjob Brothers. Any group of 3 men is the Blowjob Brothers. This is a thing. But I cannot get away from looking at Liu Hong Lu and being like, there he is, the Blowjob Brother. I do this in his Upside 1. I've never really looked at his outfit in this one particularly hard. I honestly look more at Yi-song's outfit than I do at his. But he's got a black, like, you know, undershirt situation.
He does have like a black unitard under there.
Unitard underneath, which is fine. It's just that like I've never really registered this coat that he's wearing. as
Uh-huh.
like its own article of clothing. I mean, obviously it's the thing that he's wearing, but I've always just sort of looked at it and been like, yep, that's Liu, and then my eyes sort of like glance over it and go look at Yi Song, who's wearing a piece of outerwear.
Uh-huh.
Um, but like it is sort of it's a nice little subtle thing with just the Liu flames like on the collar very slightly, a little bit of gold edging, but otherwise it's just sort of a red like vaguely Chinese like track jacket.
Yeah, he's just wearing like a Chinese semi-formal jacket, really.
Mm-hmm.
His is a little sort of more rumpled and crumpled than Yi Song's.
Mm-hmm.
On account of him being a bit more of a boisterous boy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like
He's always jumping around.
he
Famously.
is, he is. This is the idea where he jumps a lot, and that's why I like
Mm-hmm.
using it, even though he sucks, because I just love
Mm-hmm.
to watch him like launch himself and enemies like 50 feet in the air. That's a good part of this one.
Yeah,
But
all of
like,
his animations are on the on the wiki now, which is great. So you can look at the stationary sprite versions of him doing all of these dynamic leaps.
wee. But like his skill
Whee!
3, he really does just like go all the way up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am actually sort of confused now that I've spent time looking at this image. I am confused by the black layer underneath the coat. Um, Simply because it feels like that's there for some sort of actionable reason. Like he's going to go do an action thing and but that's not part of his like his his work outfit. And so it's like,
Mm-hmm.
why is he wearing this?
I guess he's in the training halls. I guess it's sweat
I
wicking
I guess he just got back from like a jog.
mm-hmm.
Um from like a winter jog.
With
But
his sweat wicking unitard and his track jacket.
yeah, it's just like it is odd. It does slightly feel like they just forgot to color in the, the chest.
Also, he is drinking Pu'er tea, which comes up again in Kanto 8 as his favorite, which is cute.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's cute. I really like they're very simple and very classical, but I do really like the design of this little teapot and
Mm-hmm.
this little teacup. I feel like the teapot is the perfect shape. It's got that sort of like snub-nosed Chinese
Mm-hmm.
teapot design.
I've
Um
been I've been taking a ceramics class this semester, as some eagle-eyed viewers will recall, and my professor asked our class to contemplate the philosophical question of what makes a teacup different from a mug recently, and then we spent like an hour discussing this. And
uh-huh.
this is, I feel like, what they're talking about in this in this image. They're
Uh-huh.
like, what is the difference between a teacup and a mug? There's so much sort of levity to what's going on in the Liu at all times that I feel
Uh-huh.
like this is what they're on.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like of the Blow Job brothers, of sort of like the initial 3.
Yeah.
I feel like all 3 of them in their base art go a different direction. Like Merceau is doing like an action thing. Gregor is doing a sort of like I'm sad and smoking at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like and then and I feel like those are sort of test cases, and the one that the direction they chose was this one. They were like,
Yeah.
Here we've hit it. The other 2, not so much.
The other
Not
two are too serious. We need a sort of a nice time.
yeah, the thing that the Liu need to be doing is like hanging out and eating food and
Mm-hmm.
like being a weird little family.
I approve.
And like it was a good direction. And like definitely I think like Liu Ish and Liu Roja and like a lot of the ones in this vein that come after of the Lius, of which there are actually quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
Now
It's Roja, Ishmael,
including
and Yisong that
yeah,
have this.
yeah, including Yisang, who is here. Um
There he is.
a lot
But he
of
prefers coffee.
a lot of those ones like do this better than this one, where like the perspective is a little wonky and like the environment is kind of like abstract to the point of being meaningless.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's not the most it's a very cute like small sort of single focus scene. It's not the most interesting, but I really appreciate this one just for sort of like I think it's a really good groundwork setter
Mm-hmm.
for like what is coming in those other Lius, which is like one of my favorite bits that they do.
Yeah. They're
And
so
so I
stupid.
appreciate it for that, even though
They're fucking company hoodies.
as an image itself, it's like it's cute and also it's like fine.
Mm-hmm. I love him.
That
If we
being
switch to
said,
the uptie art.
I actually really like this uptie. I think this is like
Yeah.
maybe one of the most successful Liu upties, like of all of them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for a couple of reasons. I guess I'm already talking.
Yeah,
One,
go.
he is like he's doing I have it in my mind while I'm sort of flicking through all the other ones. One, he's like doing a kung fu pose like really explicitly and really clearly,
Mm-hmm.
which like is um not that the other ones aren't doing kung fu, but like they do kung fu, right? Kung fu is all like palm striking and stuff.
Yeah.
I believe so. Um, I just don't want to say the wrong name of the wrong martial art. Um, but like he's doing such a clear pose that so evokes that kind of like, you know, the like wuxia adjacent kung fu movie that they are drawing from for the Liu,
Mm-hmm.
where like you go eat a bunch of food and then someone kidnaps a woman and then you go like, you know, punch people while channeling your chi. um
Uh-huh.
and he like his pose is really really evokes that very clearly. I feel like his fire hands are really conveyed very, very evocatively. Like among all of them, it's very clear like what is happening, which is that he is wearing gloves under wraps that generate fire.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very clear. Um and also just like this again, like this is sort of like
Oh, they
pre
use Taekwondo.
they use Taekwondo. Ah, I thought I might be wrong.
I went to go look this up while you were
That makes
talking.
sense actually. Yeah. Um, but like this is again a sort of pre. Nah, not necessarily, because this is in the same line as like some as like Vi Gregor, which we're so mean to, but like really I just don't like that uptie.
So mean to
Where
Zwei
it's like
Gregor. His upside one is real good.
it's an action scene. But it's like it's so clear. You can see everything about him so clearly. You can see all these little
Mm-hmm.
details of the outfit. You can see like, you know, the gold detailing on the vest. You can see this one shoulder pad that he has on his like forward on his like preferential arm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like a cutie. His sort
Mm-hmm.
of sparkling jade blue like cuts through the orange.
What I love about this is that he's literally doing the end of his skill 3. That's what he's doing. He makes this
Yes.
exact pose and his eye sparkles at the end of his skill 3, and that's what he does in this.
Yes, that too.
Which is like sometimes in Mahjong Soul, not to cross promote too much, for
Uh-huh.
our own podcast, but sometimes in Mahjong Soul they do an emote that's like this emote is just recapturing what they did in the art, but in a smaller form.
Uh-huh.
But this one, you know, we don't see this as much in Limbus Company, where they're like, this is the thing that they do in the sprites. Um, to the extent that like you know it feels very organically built that this
Yeah.
is like you know oh and then he does this thing.
Yeah, but it feels better to some extent to go from the low detail to the high detail instead of like the
Mm-hmm.
high, like, you know, when you've already seen like the high detail splash of your woman and then you see
Mm-hmm.
just like a lower detail chibi of her doing the exact same thing, you're like whatever. But when you sort of like getting to see the that move of the sprite in sort of like all I guess both of these you could frame them going either way, but to me this is like you get to see that move in all of its glory, and so it helps you
Hmm.
sort of like imagine like the most sort of glorious and well rendered version of it in your
My
mind.
most beautiful blowjob brother.
Yeah, when when he's doing his skill 3, right? Does that make sense?
The
um
perfect boy.
I think the lighting here is really good. It's really like, the
Hmm.
fire lighting is good. It's really golden. There's a lot of different sources coming from everywhere. It's really nice. Like the rim lighting is nice. The way the gold bits are shiny. Like I feel like the clothes are rendered really nicely. It's just like it's
Yeah.
just like a really really nice image. Like genuinely. I think this
I
one
like
really
how
hits.
I like how low to the ground he is. That his knee is up here in the image.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's not illustrated in a particularly oh, he's low to the ground way, but I do just like it.
No, but
And like
sorry, you can finish then I'll say my thing.
um this is, objectively one could probably consider this a flaw in the art, that you can see where the rim lighting where he's orange on the sides is just kind of like brushed over an existing render that they have,
Uh-huh.
where it cuts off pieces of the hair and shit like that, and it's sort of a rough brush stroke. Objectively one could consider this to be kind of an error in the work. I just like this. Sometimes I just like looking at sort of early Limbus Company art and later Limbus Company art, to be frank, and just being like, I know exactly what they did to to create this effect. I know
Uh-huh.
exactly what's happening in this image. It's such a like, I
Oh, you're
wouldn't be saying this if this image wasn't as good as it is, but it is
uh-huh.
just a really charming to me, like, little piece of sort of
Oh,
rough detail work
you're
that I
talking about
like.
the rim lighting on the left. I see.
On the left
Um,
of the leg, yeah,
yeah, which is done different from the rim lighting on the right. I actually
which has
don't.
its own separate
I
outline.
actually
Yes,
like don't. Um,
I don't.
I actually don't mind it that much.
It's fine.
I feel like it gives the image this kind of sort of like comic booky sort of pop to it.
Hmm.
There's like a kind of makes some at least one person will understand what I'm talking about
Okay.
here. It makes him look um like the um oh no. Um what is this card called in Magic the Gathering?
Huh.
Um it's like there was a card in Magic the Gathering that got like a special edition um that everyone hated, but I don't remember what the
Hmm.
name of the card is. Faithless Looting. Um it reminds me of like the Faithless Looting um Mystic Archive image that everyone hated, but I actually think is sick as fuck as a piece of art.
Hmm.
Just like throwing in this like bold flat colors. I think really makes things
Oh
pop.
yeah, there it is.
Here it is.
I
Um
see it.
yeah, people fucking hated this so much.
Uh-huh.
But I'm fond of this kind of style. And so I'm like, maybe it's not a mistake. And if I incorporate it into my view that it's not a mistake and it's sort of intentionally supposed to make it pop in this sort of comic-y way, then I kind of like it.
Hmm.
I think it's charming. It's really offbeat for Limbus Company, but I think it's charming.
I just love looking at images.
I bro,
I don't know if you know this about me.
you ever think about fucking images? Takes a
All of the
big
fucking
hit of
time,
the
dude.
blunt, bro. You ever think about images?
The blunt rotation brothers.
I
Gregor
would not.
Merceau and Hong Lu is a nightmare blunt rotation.
I think that like Hong Lu Faust Yi Song, it's not that much better actually.
It's
Never mind.
better.
Oh, it's better. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think Gregor and Hong Lu should be in the same room,
Uh
and this
huh.
is gonna be a controversial take among some members of the Limbus Company fandom. Um,
Is it time to talk about
Sorry to
Mewtwo?
sorry to the Hong Gregor people out there. It's not for me. I don't think they should be in the same room.
Uh-huh.
They're very bad for each other. Anyway, you want to see a woman?
We're doing K-pop,
Strangely,
right?
in making him sort of the most like a man, they've turned him into a woman. In
They turned him
K-Corp Class
into
3 Excision Staff Hong Lu.
so in the first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. The movie
That's true.
opens with an extended sequence of Mewtwo, with tubes sticking into him and like encased in a suit of tubed armor, floating in one of these things while various scientists like type on data pads and say words around him, and that's what's happening in this image. And so I started calling this image Hong Mew, which is a joke that like basically only I get. But I can't look at this image and not think about Mewtwo from Mewtwo's Revenge, the first Pokemon movie.
He literally
like, come on,
is
people.
Mewtwo.
He's even like
Is
his
the thing.
mask is similar. Mewtwo's strikes back. Is that what it's called? I'm trying to find. Where's an image of his? Don't show me the bullshit 3D remake of the movie that is very bad looking. Mewtwo.
While you look for this,
armor.
The thing about this image, is well, there's a couple things I want to point out about it. For one, they give him extremely defined like sort of body features because he's in a skin tight suit of armor that's also like his body, like the extremely accentuated pecs and sort of strange pseudo abs that he's got going on, and yet that's a woman.
Uh-huh.
Has anyone ever thought about this?
I've sent you a picture of Mewtwo in his Mewtwo Strikes Back armor.
Oh my god,
it's
the
literally
mask,
this.
yeah.
It's the same thing.
Mask.
It's the same mask. I do like, I am kind of meh on like how it's worse in the up tie. Even though you can't see very much in the up tie. But like I'm kind of meh on how muscly he is, but I do think like looking at this for a more extended period of time now, I do love the extent to which like he's made of eyes. I think that's fun. I think all of his eyes are fun. He has a face on his tummy and also like on his arm and also on his chest. He's covered in eyes. And it's like this is fun.
This is fun.
This sense that his sort of like body is sort of alive with
with
lemon
goo.
lime juice.
With Sprite.
With Sprite.
My main problem with, and this is not unique to K-Corp Hong Lu, we talked about this in the Don Quixote episode. My main problem with K-Corp Hong Lu is that ultimately this is just like a guy with Hong Lu's head. This is just a K-Corp Excision staff with Hong Lu's head on it. This is more evident in the sprites, especially when he has the helmet on, and the only thing that's different is that they pose him slightly differently and he has hair. And like, I don't like when they do this in general. I think it's more forgivable with K-Corp Hong Lu, at least because he has like a full ponytail sticking out of there, and so when he has the helmet on, unlike Rabbit Heathcliff or T-Corp Don Quixote, instead of just literally being a regular enemy with different sprites, he at least still has something identifiable on him.
Something.
That being said, it is like, I like it. Obviously, I was about to say we come from a background. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, you have to finish the sentence now. I want to know where that was going.
We come from a background of talking about outfits. And like all of these are guys
we
in
do
outfits.
come from an background of talking about outfits. Hang on, you're kind of cooking with that one.
I mean, all of the IDs are guys in outfits to various degrees. But I prefer when there's something like, what they're doing, wearing, situated in, like, says something about them in some way, even though they're quite literally taking the place of, sort of an unnamed guy. And it's hard to do that if you're just gonna do this, like, straight up and down, one-to-one, like, what if Hong Lu was a K-Corp guy? That being said, I don't mind it too much.
Yeah. I like. I also just like uh, drawing a distinction here. I think that like this armor is fun to look at, but I don't think it's especially like interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of part of the problem is that like all the K Corp aesthetic has going for it. This isn't true, but at least in a lot of renders, is just that like they're the goo company. They're the company with the goo. How do you know it's Cape Corp? Oh, they got the goo.
They got the goo.
Um
This is fucked up because we also use green goo, but they don't call us the goo company. Or
um
enkephalin.
and like so he's kind of just like a fucking he's kind of just like a warframe, but like what if a
Mm-hmm.
warframe was kind of gooed up? Um
What if a warframe
and
was
like
goo?
again, I
Kingdom
think
Hearts is goo.
Kingdom Hearts is goo.
Yeah.
And so like I think this again, I think all of the eyes and shit they're fun to look at. But I also don't think that this armor is like interesting. I don't like feel
Mm-hmm.
compelled to like draw it or anything. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's crazy how much just like looking at a Kurakumo clan guy and being like, what number of buttons do they button up on their shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Gives them so much personality, and he just gets nothing here.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a guy. He's just
He's
a
just
war.
goo man.
He's just a goo warframe.
To
And you
speak
know
more
what?
on the like,
He
yes.
loves being goo.
He loves being goo. I love being goo. I'm voiced by Yuri Lowenthal. Um fuck. To speak more about the art that's directly in front of me, the one thing about this art that confuses me is that, like, I know this isn't what they meant to do, and they just meant to put, like, two different shines on it, but it does look like he's in two tubes. There's a
It
front tube, and then there's a back tube.
it does kind of look like he's in two
And
tubes.
his
Yeah.
hair is in the back tube, but he's mostly in the front tube, except part of his hand is sticking out.
Mewtwo tubes.
Mewtubes.
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 And then
Um...
the next image I don't like very much.
and
And we all know why. So
we all know why.
and so
Say
you
it
can
with me.
you can't see the weapon, and there's no other point to this image because we've already seen the whole guy.
Yay!
It's like, what if he span in a circle? There's multiple
His
reasons
expression
why
here is also nothing new. It's just the Ting Tang Gang again.
yeah, he's just doing like the Hong Lu smile. Like I feel like
What if he enjoyed violence?
I'm more partial to the Hong Lu smile than I am to the Sinclair. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one, it's more compelling. Two, it's more like sort of narratively cohesive as an object. Um, it's like, oh, Sinclair is sad. It's like that's less interesting than, oh, Hong Lu smiles, because like him smiling is an actual like narrative object, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um and I think his face looks fine. I like his sort of trailing jade laser. His
I
his
like his
his
jade laser.
his
That's the
jade
main thing I
his
like about
jade
this.
zer, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Um but like I do think
It is
this
also really confusing what he's doing, because there's a slight implication, which is not true. He's doing his job. But the thing about the previous composition leading into this one is that it sort of implies he's cutting off the head of the guy who's on the right here, which is not what's happening.
uh-huh.
Um, but these are like guys who have green on them, which makes it look like they're K Corp guys. And also they're not technology liberation
No,
guys because they
it's
don't have
someone
the right
from
like outfits for that.
it's a Rose Spanner guy. He's wearing a Rose Spanner jacket.
Oh, it is a Rose Spanner guy.
Yeah.
That's not clear.
I mean, I also like, I just don't think. Okay, I have to talk about the fucking elephant in the room. Okay, we have to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a head. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's why I was saying
the
it looks like he's cutting
head,
off the head of the guy from the right.
which is in the bottom right of the image,
Mm-hmm.
looks so much like a piece of Hong Lu's hair that is just like on a different focal distance, that I was
Yeah.
legitimately like, why is there just a piece of his hair that's on a different focal distance? It's really like, and it's also just like,
Uh-huh.
okay, like, it's here we go. It's time to it's all of the Ivy critiquing a piece of Limbus Company art hallmarks. It's like, one, you
Mm-hmm.
can't see the fucking weapon, so like, what's the point? Oh, in this image, the new information that we get is that we can see like his back tubing, thrilling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like, do this pose, do what he's doing, in which he's like, he has his elbow sort of like tucked up under his chin, um, and it's like, ah so the problem is that the problem with this pose, after like the literal line of action, that is the sort of like, his green beam,
Mm-hmm.
that he's spun around him. I have to scroll up so I don't keep looking at a picture of Mewtwo. Is like, he has just spun in a circle. He's spun in a
Mm-hmm.
pretty wide circle, honestly. Look at how far away from
Mm-hmm.
him like that furthest like bit of green slash is.
It's a
Um
big old weapon.
and yet he is holding his fucking weapon so close to the blade, which means that like it would be extremely difficult to get like the kind of like kinematics and like the leverage to do this
Mm-hmm.
kind of spin. And like, I know why the weapon is positioned close to his hand. It's so that you can see it's so that,
Yeah,
because
so
I
you can
wanted,
see it.
it's so you can see like some blurry bullshit of this blade. And I like this twin blade, to be clear. I think it's a fun twin blade. Um
Mm-hmm.
but like,
If I can speak to it, the sprites, if you look at them, if you look at specifically his animations, which I'm glad to again have on this page, you can see that it's slightly wobbly, as it should be. It's a sort of
yeah.
it's a ductile metal tube. It kind of it wobbles when he swings it, and then
Yeah,
it
it's
goes back
really
into
nice
place.
actually. And like, and so like, they're trying to do two things at once, and they've failed both of them, which is they're trying
Mm-hmm.
to have him do this big circular slash, but they've also like composed this image such that in order that like the blade needs to be close to his hand in order to be visible, which makes no sense for this big circular slash. And so the image just like doesn't parse, right? Like it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
logically parse. I'm gonna look at him doing a move in his animations and see like, where are his hands positioned. Yeah, you can see his hand is not that pushed up on the blade, especially like,
No,
well,
he sort of
he does like,
he
he
shifts around,
he
but
shifts
it's when he has
around.
two hands on the blade.
Yeah, and it's just like, it just doesn't. Like, okay, so like, he's done the swing, and then he's shifted his hands out from the middle of the blade to like get more stability, in between attacks. Reasonable,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not conveyed in this image in any way. It just looks like
Yeah.
he's holding the blade wrong. Um
Mm-hmm.
and so it just like, I just think that this one is like kind of bad. I think he's a cutie, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that this one is
He's
bad.
done enough of a cutie for it to be like that.
Like, it's fine, but it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
it
Could be
it,
better.
it bugs me.
Uh-huh.
Whatever.
Yeah. So it goes.
So it goes. They can't all be winners.
They can't all be winners.
He's a good number
Some
of
of them are
winners.
women, though.
Yeah.
Like W Corp L2 cleanup agent Hong Lu. Hey, I really like this uptie one. I love it when the upties of the warp guys go from, like, it's not even. Hong Lu has the weirdest warp uptie like situation.
Uh-huh.
Even Don Quixote goes from like I love my job to like the horrors of war. In hindsight, it makes sense that Hong Lu's is like this, but I really like it. That I won't talk about his uptype 3 immediately, but that he goes from like I love having a coffee with my friend Ryoshu from work to like time for another day at work. I feel fine about this.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I think pairing him with Ryoshu here is really smart, actually. Because I think that if you paired him with, like, Yi Song, or, like, Don Quixote, or any of them that are, like, the horrors,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have a limited list of guys to pair him with, but you can always, like, invent a new W Corp guy.
You
Um,
literally can.
then, his up tie, like, the idea of him, like, kind of, like, hitching a ride with, like, um, fucking, with Yi Song, and then, like, they're at
Mm-hmm.
work together, and Yi Song is like, I'm dead inside, and Hong Lu's like, yay,
Yay!
feels very dark in a way that feels almost too dark, you know?
Uh-huh.
But the idea of, like, him hanging out with Ryoshu,
Who
and
famously loves this shit.
yeah, and then they go to work together, and Hong Lu's like, another day on the job, big smile, and Ryoshu is like, he, I love to kill the weird art monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Softens Hong Lu significantly in a way that I think is
Mm-hmm.
necessary. You know what I mean? And so, like,
Yeah.
I think that this pairing is, like, very intentional and very, very, very good. Um,
Yeah, I mean it's an important point that I haven't really thought about how much Hong Lu doesn't hate this job
uh-huh,
before revisiting it post Kanto 8, and I do think that that's because he's hanging out with Ryoshu, which this is a very nice picture of him and Ryoshu. They're
uh-huh.
both drawn quite well. I want to see Ryoshu. I wish I could see more of Ryoshu. That's not a like ding against the art or anything here. It's like I think that they're positioned correctly. I just want to see more of Ryoshu in just like a black button down.
Yeah, remember that fucking, Seven Association image? I don't even
God.
remember who that's for. Is that Heathcliff?
Hmm.
That is actually just an image of Ryoshu. Um,
Yeah.
but I just like,
Shut up. I love her.
yeah,
But look at Hong Lu's outfit also. He's got this like this sort of this like I imagine it's a little cotton sort of overshirt, but also the like the Henley that he's wearing.
uh huh,
Like shut up, dude.
yeah. He feels very kind of like Hong Kong street fashion to me, in a
Hmm.
way that is like very appealing. This kind of like flat collar button up, and then this like sort of like half jacket, half shirt shit that he's wearing.
It's
Like,
just
he's
a
just
Henley. I'm using the right word, right?
is that what a Henley is? I
Yeah,
don't.
it's a collarless pullover with a round neckline and having 2 to 5 buttons, like a collarless polo shirt.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah, yeah.
Henley. They're soft and comfortable.
Uh-huh.
And
He's
they're
just
weird. And they're gay.
uh-huh.
Sorry,
just
men. Henleys are gay.
he's just a cutie. And I also like I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate any time that we get to like get a look at W Corp and they're like weird cyberpunk utopia nest.
Uh-huh.
Um I just think that I just think that they're fun. I really want to see like more W Corp. I want to
Mm-hmm.
know what actually like goes on. Um, but I just like there's a bunch of really sort of like human like W Corp is we're so focused on like the trains and the guys in the trains. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
this is a really sort of like humanizing shot of street level W Corp that we don't often get. Where it's
Mm-hmm.
like something about the fact that this cafe, which is sort of unoriginally just named Cafe W, which is
Yeah,
funny.
Cafe W.
But the fact that it has just this kind of like extremely pedestrian neon like red and green open sign is really
Mm-hmm.
charming to me, and like really pulls this whole
Yeah.
in. Like all of the stuff on the left is kind of abstract bullshit, but this cafe is so grounded that it really like humanizes this whole image in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it. I do think like something about the perspective on Hong Lu is like feels weird to me. He always feels kind of looming in this image.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I can't quite get at it, but like something about him always feels a little odd to me. But it's
Mm-hmm.
a very charming image.
He's so cute.
He's a
I've
cutie.
realized he's not actually drinking a coffee. He's drinking some kind of tea.
Yeah, absolutely. Of
I
course he
wonder if
is.
he's drinking Pu'er tea, but out of a fucking travel cup.
You're not gonna get a Pu'er tea in a fucking a Cafe W. Like, come on.
I'm just saying.
Uh-huh. He looks like he's just drinking like a green tea. Good for him.
Good for him.
And then in his uptie, um, he's a working man.
He does seem a little bit like, he's pretty unbothered, but he does seem a little bit strained in this image to keep up the,
He's
like,
he's
I'm
he
fine with being at work.
he seems very checked out. Like I don't have this guy, so I
Mm-hmm.
haven't actually looked at his ID story, but he does like, you know,
I have this guy.
he's
He's super
simply
useful because
he's
he
simply
deploys
coasting
fucking charge
along.
barrier.
Yeah, he's just kind of like he's just kind of like dissociating. He's like, well, I'm at work, better get through it.
He's
Um,
just tired of work.
yeah, but he's like,
He's just chilling.
it's kind of again like I think the contrast with Ryoshu is very helpful to him because he's like
Mm-hmm.
he really to me does not feel as evil as he could be. Like
Mm-hmm.
he feels like he's just like a plumber. He feels extremely
Mm-hmm.
like he's just like a tradesman in this image.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just like,
Thank you,
well,
ma'am. I'll be right along.
exactly. His little cap tip is really does it to me. Does it for me. And it's just like I don't know. I find something about it really, really compelling. The like ease
Mm-hmm.
with which he like balances this fucking laser sword on his shoulder is just like is so charming. I think the posing in this
This is
image it
also,
really does it.
I mean, it's in general the W Corp guys are always covered in blood, and I don't read it as like they're evil. But covered in blood and smiling, and me not going, this is an evil boy, is good. But it generally just reads much less like I love killing and violence, and more like, phew, it's been a long day at work.
Uh huh.
Excited to go home and I
Well,
guess eat dinner with my coworkers.
yeah. Watch my
Or without
soaps.
my coworkers, as the case may be.
Uh huh.
He's got his little fingerless gloves, which I think are genuinely quite cute.
Yeah.
Um, the W Corp uniform is very flattering in general.
Uh huh. And again,
They haven't made a W Corp guy who doesn't look good in the W Corp uniform.
and again, he has like little identifying details in this. Like to
Mm-hmm.
contrast with this with what we were saying about K Corp. He has little identifying details in this that like if nothing else, like not all of the W Corp have. I think something about these like I don't do other people have these like strapped on arm pouches? Um
I don't
I'm not sure.
know.
Let me go take a quick look at some random guy. Ah, they do.
Oh yeah, Faust has them.
Faust has them. Ryoshu has them.
There's lots
Huh.
of little variations you can do on the W Corp uniform, though.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I
don't
do
know.
think we are on like I guess Liu is martial arts, but we are on like the 1 millionth long sword Hong Lu ID.
Yeah.
Um, long sword, pole arm, double sided blade, whatever have you. He needs to have a long thing.
Uh-huh.
Look at his long sword.
Uh-huh. Oh, it is so long. You can't really see it in the image, but it is like
No.
it is so long. Um,
And it's like, sure, whatever.
uh-huh.
I'm genuinely, I think this is fine. Um But, like, that is the main identifying, this is Hong Lu thing about this guy, is that he's got a long sword.
Uh-huh. I don't know. It's a pretty simple image. I just think it's effective. And I think this is
It
like
is compelling.
again, I think it's an effective like render of this weapon. Because like the interesting parts of this weapon are like the hilt and the tip. And like it's fine to skip the middle. And it makes it feel more natural. You can't quite see how long it is, but you can if you pay attention. And it's like it's just nice. It's just again, it's another one that is just like this one to me is like goes hit. This is sort of like the blue to the red of Liu up tie, where it's like fucking. It's just like it's a very straightforward image of the guy doing his thing, like in sort of like a compelling pose, with like nice lighting that is like really nicely drawn. And I'm like, great. I'm fond of it. It's not blowing the doors off for me, but like it's just very nice.
Since you haven't seen this guy, have you seen his skill 3 animation? I need you to look at it.
Yeah, he does like a stomp, right? Bonk,
Yeah, and he's cute.
bonk, bonk.
I've claimed my territory.
Definitely his like defining physical trait among all the W Corp guys is that his hat is really big for some reason. His like hat is one size too
hat.
big, and he's always grabbing his damn hat because it's too fucking big. They didn't give him the
It's
right
charming,
size
though.
of hat. It's charming.
He's a little charmer.
Uh-huh.
Moving along to our
Moving
our
along.
last one of the day.
Our final one of the week.
It's Hook Office Fixer Hong Lu.
Hook Office Fixer Hong Lu.
He's Tyan from
Uh-huh.
Library of Ruina.
Uh-huh. In this one, they're actually
He's
I don't
hanging
remember.
out with Merceau, who voices this guy in Library of Ruina, and Ryoshu, who I think also voices this girl from Library of Ruina.
Let me take a look. Kim Bona. Who do you voice?
Yeah, Kimbona is Ryoshu.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Which is really funny that they just they put the two guys and they were like, and these are their voice actors, and here's Hong Lu.
Uh-huh. It works
It's
pretty
really cute.
well.
I love the detail I love about this uptie one is that his big fucking blades are very clearly branded with the workshop he got them from.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing about the Hook Office in Library of Ruina is like, look at our cool workshop weapon.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this is such a good kind of like image of a low-level fixer. Which is also what the Hook Office is supposed to be, which is like we have one defining cool trait, which is like I've got these back blades, and so like these are really prominent. Their like designer label is really prominent.
Yeah.
And then like we didn't really have money for anything else, so I'm just wearing like a ski mask and a coat.
Yeah.
I'll put some
We're
belts.
sort of coordinated a little bit.
Yeah, I'll put some belts on there to make it look all right. They're within themselves, like the Hook Office are not really coordinated, but they're kind of trying. They've got like kind of a look, but they're also all sort of still doing their own thing.
They're all still sort of like syndicate rats, and so they're just like,
Yeah.
whatever.
They're like they're sort of kind of trying to look professional, but not really.
I love the framing and composition of this image. The fuck-ass library, well, Purchase Knocked shit does not bother me that much in this one, so I won't linger on it.
No, that's fine.
I love that Hong Lu is on the right, and he's looking off to the right, but his back blades are, of course, pointed to the left, and the left is where this big shock of color is, and it's where the two cameos in the image are. So there's about an equal amount of shit happening on each side of the image, depending on what you're focusing on, and also his two co-conspirators are in between the two back blades, so you naturally sort of get to go, back blade, oh look, there they are, other back blade, back to Hong Lu, back blade, there they are, etc.
Yeah. It's framed really nicely. And it's like I feel like they do just like that tilt of his head and like various little, stuffing his hands in his pockets, but only part way, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Like he's pretty, for someone like in a face mask, he's pretty expressive. Um
Mm-hmm.
it's
Also, I
like,
just think that this look is handsome. So like they picked a good guy to be like, here's your
yeah.
generic library guy. Is like
Yeah.
a guy with a very clear visual aesthetic, and who you can put a pretty boy in his clothes, and he looks like, oh, that's a pretty boy.
Yeah, I think this jacket is drawn really well. We haven't really talked about this kind of stuff in this episode much. But like this the way this jacket sort of like folds and crumples, like gets a really
Mm-hmm.
clear idea across of that kind of like um you're not as kind of like in the winter zone as I am. But like this is a
Yeah.
very specific kind of snowboarder jacket that has a very
Mm-hmm.
specific kind of like poly outer texture that just like crumples in this way, and that comes across really really well, really simply, which I always really appreciate. This collar feels fluffy but also feels very ragged, both because it's like extremely gray brown, but also it's sort of limpid. you know
Mm-hmm. I
um
know. I was gonna say I love how fucking ratty this jacket is.
yeah, but like compared to the jacket, his hair is like pristine, which is so cute. Like his hair is pristine, the blades are pristine, everything else can go to hell. That's the important part.
Yeah.
It's cute.
He's a
It's a cute,
cutie.
cute, simple little image. And then in the next image, I think that this one is like genuinely fine. Um,
Yeah, I mean it's mostly the same thing. He's a little bit less expressive in this one. He's just looking at the camera and killing people. His
uh-huh.
co-conspirators are gone. There's nothing really happening on the left of the image.
Uh-huh.
So they put most of the border there, which is fine. I do like the fact that the pages of the border are in the same arc as his big
Yeah,
open
yeah, yeah, yeah.
here.
As if he's sort of like,
That's quite a
it
good
does
use
kind of
of
feel like he's
figure
sort of tearing a
composition.
hole in reality kind of thing,
Yeah.
which is fun to me. Um I just like,
This is
go.
if I could this is more interesting than what they could have done. One of the things about like his sprites, which is also just true in Ruina to many extents, is that he mostly just stands there and lets his weapons do things, which is really cute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I am really charmed by it, but it makes a bad image, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing a big drama shot for him to just be standing there and letting his weapons do the talking, when he literally did the pose where he has his hands in his pockets in the first one.
Uh-huh.
So they do like, what's it in his uptight 3/uptight 2, where he just like does a little gesture to go with it, which I think is pretty cute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To me, this is just sort of like highly functional setup and payoff. The
Mm-hmm.
setup is like, we're really, in the first image, we're really fixated on these cool uni-end blades.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also kind of abstract, like it's not clear what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the
And what
second
does it do?
And then in the second
Exactly.
image, there's a bunch of little details I'd like to point out, which is like, one, it's switched which side of him it's on.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has specifically two going the same way. And then in the second one, it switches sides and it switches angle, and he's clearly like not controlling it with his hand. Um and so, like, the thing that this image conveys effectively is the way that the guy works, which
Mm-hmm.
is that, like, the blades attack you on their own while he, like, does evasion and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, I feel like, you know what I'm getting at? I feel like that's
Yeah, yeah,
conveyed very clearly, without making, like, too big of a deal of it.
yeah.
It's just like the blade is not where it is in the first image, and not doing the same thing it's doing in the first image, and thus you're like, oh, I see, the blade moves on its own.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice,
yeah, yeah.
nice, nice, clear connecting of the dots.
I also just want to point out his evade sprite, which is one of the cutest pieces of art that they've produced for this video game. He pulls his little face mask down to smirk at you.
He does. That's pretty good.
It's like genuinely fucking adorable.
I also
It's the most I'm playing toys that I've ever seen in my life.
uh-huh. I also do really like his guard sprite. In
In
which
which his single jade eye is poking out solemnly from underneath
yeah, well he
the
just like
blades.
he's not worried at all, and the blades are like just kind of like hug
He's doing
him.
fucking nothing.
Yeah.
I also think that, his skill 1, in which he literally just stands still and lets his blades do the talking, is very cute. In the
Uh-huh.
skill 2, he ends with a little flourish, but otherwise it's just his,
Yeah,
his
and
blades.
then in
then
the
his skill
skill
3 is him, like, actually directing them.
yeah. It's cute. He's a cutie.
It's all drawn very well.
Yeah. I did not expect my conclusion from this first half of Honglu images is that Honglu gets very simple but very effective images.
Yeah.
They're
Not
all
what you would expect, is it?
they're all really straightforward, sort of clear, simple compositions, mostly just kind of like of a guy in an effective pose. And they all just like they have a lot of work done into making that simplicity work. And it's like, I'm sure. Like I don't mind it.
I mean, why not?
You're right, it's weird that Honglu what the Honglu thing, but like
Yeah, he's a fancy boy. You wouldn't think so. But I mean, part of it is just that they love drawing him so much, and he has such a clear silhouette that you don't have to do that much with him to make him
yeah,
look good.
exactly. You just kind of everyone. I think they have an understanding that people just kind of like looking at him.
Yeah, he's my perfect little object.
Exactly. He's my precious jade.
He is my precious jade, and this is not problematic.
No. It's not problematic to
He's
objectify
fine with
Honglu. Yeah, you should objectify
It's
him.
okay
Uh-huh.
to objectify Honglu.
It's fine.
I think it's moral. Hey, that didn't take nearly as much time as we thought it would. I mean,
No.
we still have ego to do, but
We still have ego. But yeah, it was chilling. Should we do ego?
Hey, you want to talk about some ego?
Yeah. Should we just do these in release order? We already know which ones we're talking about.
Yeah, so that is
Dimension Shredder first.
Dimension Shredder and then Cavernous Melee.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Dimension Shredder from Dimension Shredder.
Yeah.
It's hey, you know what I like about this image that is not pictured here but is very important to me is that they censored it before they put it on Twitter.
Did they?
Yes, when they were putting out the previews of this shit on Twitter, they were like, "Here's our new ego," and then they censored the fucking like the mouth that's eating him. So they were like, "That's a little much."
His chest cunt he's emerging from.
Yeah, they were like,
Yeah.
"Wait a minute."
Uh-huh.
I think this is awesome. I love this one is so gory that they had to
It's
censor
so gory.
And this is, awesome.
I don't know why Project Moon, like, listen, I think that he's fine.
Mhm.
I don't know why Project Moon loves Dimension Shredder so much. They keep making new Dimension Shredders.
They love the warp train.
They love the warp train so much, and it feels like Dimension Shredder is like the pinnacle of their warp train achievements. They're like, it's a cool distortion. It's about the warped. It's sort of like it's both about the part of warp train that's like Love Town Gorefest, but also we get to put them in the W Corp outfit that we've done a ton of focus testing on, and it's so they just like love Dimension Shredder. They always put so much work into the Dimension Shredder shit, and they've made so many Dimension Shredder. It's really funny to me.
They love The Jaunt by Stephen King.
Uh-huh.
Which
Like
is
in-
what the warp
like
train
in
is.
Qualia of the Purple?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's purple. Because of Qualia of the
Yeah.
Purple. Anyway,
There are a lot of really neat details about this ego that I am super into.
Uh-huh.
I think that Yi Song's version of this ego is also really cool and has a lot of stuff that's very specific to him. But I like that they gave it to two guys that already have warp identities, so you just sort of get to fuck with their warp identities. This is just Warp Hong Lu. He doesn't have his hat on. But like, I love that it's the vest which is coming up to eat him in a fucked up way. I love all of the details of like, his sword that he actually uses as a warp employee becomes covered in teeth and also phasing in and out of reality, and the handle of it is made of sort of gristle and bone.
Uh huh.
Um I think it's really neat. I don't know why his other arm turns into another mouth. That's unclear to me. I'm happy for him though.
I do really like. I feel like the arm that turns into a mouth is really the standout of. I sort of can't stop looking at it. It's so like
Mhm.
tentacly.
Yeah.
It's really weird looking. Like the teeth are very blunt.
Mhm.
It's like that in the sprite too. It really stands out
Mhm.
among all the other mouths because the teeth are really blunt, and so it's like,
Those are
why is
human teeth.
yeah, why is his left arm a why is his left arm a vegetarian, but his like chest
Yeah.
cunt is a carnivore? Like, what's up with that?
I also love in this image, I love the way that it's framed, like kind of a hexagon, with
Uh-huh.
the gristle on the bottom and the train doors on the left and right that just sort of generally make it a very angular piece.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
also love this little this little like fluorescent light that's just kind of broken and dangling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just a nice little touch.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's a lot of little touches in this that like really kind of like make it feel like an actual space.
Mm-hmm.
Like the floor even has like tiles, like is visibly tiled, as is the wall. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which is pleasant. I do think, hang on, let me confirm this by going to the dimension shredder. Sorry, the wayward passenger
The wayward
page.
passenger.
Yeah. Um Oh, Yi Song Dimension Shredder is pretty goofy. But like this Wayward Passenger is really goofy to me. His
Mm-hmm.
something about the eyes in this one are just like open. Um
Regular wayward passenger is extremely goofy.
he just
Fighting
like
wayward passenger is just like, what is wrong with you?
he looks so
Just
much
chill out.
like a weird Muppet in this one to me. You
He's
know,
like,
he's
hey.
extremely like a guy from fucking Five Nights at Freddy's in this one. He's like
Well,
he's
he's a guy
he's
that pops out at you during like a haunted house.
yeah,
That's like, I've got my
exactly.
big dangly arms. I'm hanging from the ceiling.
Uh-huh. I also I really they love the smudge tool. I love their use of the smudge tool on the dimension shredder elements in this one specifically. I think
Mm-hmm.
drawing instead of just using the smudge tool to draw lines, drawing a clean blade and then smudging it to, dimension shred it is
Mm-hmm.
is really effective. Um he's also I don't know if this is I don't know how uniquely true this is of Hong Lu, but he's also he's so tentacles in this one.
He really is.
He's just he's got so many tendrils
Good
emerging
for
from
him.
him. Good for him, honestly. Yeah,
I
Yi
also just
Song
like the
is not
visual.
that tendrily.
Yisong has the wing, and that's mostly his thing.
He does have the
Otis
wing.
is sort of more defined in general, but he's super tentacly. If you look at his corroded sprite, in which his legs are going the wrong way, which is really cute in execution and also effective in concept, but makes
Uh-huh.
him look stupid. He just waddles around with his legs going the wrong way and his arms all up like that, and it's like, what is your deal? Um,
He does just
but
become
the
all tendrils.
Yeah, he's very tendrils. Um, but the other thing I like about this composition is just that the two angular arms of the wayward passenger, one of them comes down to meet the handle of his blade, which then comes down to have the same angle as the other blade arm. And so even
Uh-huh.
though it's asymmetrical, it has the same kind of visual rhythm that you want.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. It's really nice. I like it.
I use this ego constantly, so I have a bias towards
It's
it.
so useful.
It's so
Literally,
useful
like, the
because I'm
best
using
useful.
Warp Team all the time. So the
Right.
fact that like all the dimension shredders are dependent on the existing charge that you have slash buff the existing charge that you have, it's like, yeah. Also, it
Dimension
gives him a
Shredder.
revive.
Dimension Shredder Honglu. Um. Oh my god, it does. Dimension Shredder Honglu, to me, like mechanically, is really like a, really, really like mask off of the game, revealing that like none of the words they put in the thing matter. The only thing that matters about Dimension Shredder Honglu is that it's a 22+6.
Not wrong.
It can clash literally fucking anything, and so you put it on everyone. I don't even know what other he ego Yi-Song has, because it literally doesn't matter, because Dimension Shredder is a
Hmm.
22+6 coin flip.
Good for him.
Good for him. And then Cavernous
Speaking of
Wailing.
speaking of Honglu ego, I was gonna say speaking of other he Honglu ego, but this one is Tef. I love Cavernous Wailing Honglu.
That was me,
Um,
Cavernous Wailing.
I understand. I love Cavernous Wailing Honglu. I love all the Cavernous Wailing ego, of which there are two. Um, I think we talked about the Sinclair one, which is also very good.
Uh-huh.
I think the framing on both of them is fantastic, and I also just
Mhm.
really like Cavernous Veiling Honglu because I have a bias towards how fucked up he sounds in his voice performance here, which was sort of one of the first real emotional performances we got from Honglu's voice actor
Uh-huh.
in the game, and so I was very attached to this one just as like, why is he like that?
He's sad.
He's sad. But I love the way that all that you see of the abnormality here is the giant fucking eyeball in which he is encompassed.
Yeah.
And then
I
the
just like
smaller eyeball that's on his shoulder is just within the pupil of this one.
yeah. I like this one. One, I just think it's really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny when they put a bunch of detail into the ego art, because like they're so hard to see. They're so low res in general, and they're so hard to see in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Um but like this one is just really pretty. You can just like stare forever at like the kind of like
Yeah.
rock texture of his armor. It's so nicely
Mm-hmm.
done. It's full of so many like very careful and deliberate details of all the little cracks and all the little glitters and all the little like ways that it fits together. Um I also like this one just because I feel like in this one he's extremely Chinese.
He really is.
It's like this is so like um this is so like an armor set that is like, imagine in your mind the Chinese Imperial Guard, and like don't they stand like this? Don't they look like this? Um he's got the he's got the skirt, he's got the he's just like, something about this feels just like so, they were like, we're gonna make him look like a Chinese warrior. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. It's Hung
Mm-hmm.
Lu. He's from Dream of the Red Chamber. Um and it's just got like this imperiousness to it that I really, really appreciate. It really like it's a really good ego art for like making you feel small. Like he feels massive. He feels like a statue, right? Like he feels like a statue carved out of a mountain. Um
Mm-hmm.
in the way that he just like looms over you in this composition. And then looming over him is this like big fucking eye, and it's just such a good like you're fucked kind of composition. It's like you're so
Mm-hmm.
the viewer are so small in this image, compared to
Mm-hmm.
this like imperial warrior man, and then like the god of sadness watching over him.
Yeah.
It's really like genuinely
He's
like
just
very
he's
effective.
so cool.
He's
And
so
he
cool.
has such a cool, imposing pose and such an incredible backshot that doesn't like compromise on how cool his outfit is. I love his corrosion. I always love the corrosions. But in his corrosion, he is partially turning into a frog, as he should be. He's got a frog arm. He's got a frog leg. He clashes with a big frog tail that appears out of nowhere.
Uh-huh. I think it's like a tongue coming out of his back.
Yeah.
The corrosion is always funny to me because it looks like someone cracked an egg on his face. He's just got like a blue egg cracked on his face.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. The one detail that the splash is missing that's in the sprites is that like the splash is really missing the like little frog eyes that the armor is studded with. You can see them but only barely and only if you're looking for them. And like
I also wish that you got a little more in the in the illustration how this is a cropped up.
uh-huh. But like the armor isn't any more interesting from the front than it is from the back, and I'm so taking advantage of that to do this
Oh
cool
yeah, it's
like
really good.
glancing over my shoulder is good. It's good. It's Hong Lu. Oh, okay. I like just hit my limit. It's not the longest episode ever. I'm just still recovering from sickness. I like him though. I'm very fond of Hong Lu.
Hong Lu.
From Dream of the
Fucking
Hong Lu from Hong Lu Meng.
fucking Hongle.
Fucking Hongle.
I love that guy. More on this next week.
More on this next week. Actually,
we've got Diechi, Eurodivi, Fang Hunt, Full Stop, Reindeer, and the Lord of Hong Yuan, and then a couple of Ego, which I'll leave you in suspense for, but one of them is Tears of Tarnished Blood. One Ego I'll leave you in suspense for.
Coming this week is our anniversary episode. We've got a lot coming down the pipe, actually.
We've got so much happening.
We've got we've got this, and then our anniversary episode like midweek. And then part B of this, so if you want to hear more of us talking about Hong Lu, we will talk about that in exactly a week. And then we have like kind of a Christmas special, and then we gotta figure out what we're doing for the new year. Exciting times. For now, though,
very exciting times.
I'm gonna go lie down on the Kang. It's cold up here. It's December. It's cold. I gotta lie on the Kang.
Yeah, you gotta lie down on the Kang.
Sky bright. Get the heater going. Burn some incense. Come on.
Come on.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
이거 제 덕분일까요? 이겼다니까 다행이네요.